None.
Well,
maybe the first film.
Squirrel.
You okay?
I'm trying to get myself wrapped up to talk about.
Yep.
To talk about.
What did we see? What did we see?
The movie we saw last night was The Devil Wears Prada 2.
And what a number 2 it was. What? Play on words, how dare I?
Written by Aline, Brosh, McKenna, and Laura Weisberger, who was the person who wrote the original book, The Devil Wears Prada, so she's back.
Great.
Directed by David Frankel.
Fantastic.
Starring a heap of people.
Whoopity-doo.
That some people who came back from the last one, a lot of new people just sprinkled in like so many ice cream sprinkles that...
Yep, I've immediately got a question for you. Were those the same friends from the first one, seeing as we very recently did our homework and watched the first Devil Wears Prada?
Yes.
That friend group was a very specific set of actors.
Well,
Was it the same group?
Lily, her friend that she hung out with the most, played
Right.
by Tracie Thoms.
Yeah.
She is a returning person. There was no boyfriend brought back.
Right.
And then what, was Lily ever with anybody else? Did I miss that?
There was like a very... Oh, I'm trying to think where he's from, but in the first one he was like business suit, but kind of flamboyant, like, you go, girl. That's what business is all about. And
I feel like
anyway,
that guy
he disappeared.
maybe didn't come back.
No.
Anyway. But anyway, there was all kinds of people in it that gave me hope. Like when I was like, oh wait, Amelia Dimoldenberg from Chicken Shop Date is in this? Fantastic. Caleb Hearon, who I love on Instagram, and he was fantastic in the pizza movie. He's in it, and I'm like, well, they clearly have a plan.
Clearly.
And
absolutely not treading water for a second time. No.
I don't even know what I would say this movie is about.
Nope.
Or
who it's for.
No.
Maybe fans of the first one? Maybe. And that's a big maybe.
We sat through about 30 minutes of trailers and commercials before the movie started. So, like, the start time of the movie, this is where we sound like old people, but the advertised start time of the movie, it was a full 30 minutes after that the movie actually started.
Some commercials, and they're really betting on this film, had a Devil Wears Prada 2 theme, like Delta or some, like United Airlines or something, with like high heels and stuff.
Cerulean,
and it's like,
the sky, Cerulean
right.
skies or whatever.
Oh, lordy.
Honestly,
they're really trying.
The whole thing's kind of making me sad.
Yep.
Because we go to all of these movies now, and sometimes some really interesting movie is only playing like for part of a week and one showing a day or something. Right. You could see so many different showings of this, and you could get your popcorn in like a purse or something. And like they were really just like, everybody's coming for this. And there was a trailer for Practical Magic 2, which I looked, and that's from 1998.
Ooh,
so there's definitely something happening where people are like, let's do this thing. We know they're going to come back for it.
Yeah.
Also, and this sounds like, the cranky guy from 60 Minutes or something, but we try to be supportive to the theaters by also buying some concessions. But when I looked at the register, it was like $50 on like, Squirrel doesn't eat that much popcorn.
Sometimes.
And so we drink some popcorns and one little thing of like crunch blobs. And that was about $50. And I'm like, okay.
Can't be doing that every time.
We are ushering in now, like, it's official. We're going to be sneaking in some snacks. And one thing I did recently was use an oven mitt as a koozie, and I put a drink in an oven mitt inside a larger purse. And I'm kind of like, if anybody has to look at my purse, I would just be like, what? I've got an oven mitt. I bought an oven mitt at the kitchen store nearby.
Slightly used oven mitt at this kitchen store. Don't judge.
Couldn't possibly be a
koozie. Can you tell, audience? We'd rather talk about anything else than this movie. We're telling you, hey, we sneak stuff in oven mitts. Oh, what's the plot of this film? Who cares?
I have that just like no fun was had.
No
fun was had.
Absolutely none.
Which is criminal based on this list of people. Beyond just like the regulars, there's also like BJ Novak, Patrick Brammall. I think it's my handwriting. I think I wrote Brammall, but he's from Calling from Accounts. Did you recognize him? Ooh, I'm just noticing you have like a little...
I even put on haute couture for this review.
You have fashion.
I have fashion. And that's the thing. It's like...
Fashion's supposed to be fun.
Fashion's
like this
supposed to
little
be
number
fun.
right here.
Right.
Not like this movie. But yeah, we loved Calling from Accounts. That was the guy that she was dating. By the way, this is like spoilers only here. We're just post-movie discussion. So we assume you've seen the movie.
And apparently it's playing 100 times a day everywhere. So,
so
we're assuming you've seen
it,
even if you didn't want to.
And if you could just imagine it. And that's probably what it is. And but yeah, Calling from Accounts, that's a really funny show. That guy was in it. Very underused. Caleb Hearon, if that's how you pronounce his name. He is, a delight.
Yep.
He
was good.
Just a delight is, I think, this person's default state. Yeah. And in here is like how much can we dim this delight? How much can we underuse this delight? Pauline Chalamet, Timothy Chalamet's sister, was in it. She was just sitting at the table at one point. Amelia Dimoldenberg, hilarious person. I think she just gets to just be like, hello, and that's it. It just felt like I've seen television make better use on red carpets of star power than this movie did. Was just like, hey, there goes John Baptiste. Don't worry about it. There goes Ronnie Chang. Don't worry about it. Lady Gaga. What was the whole Lady Gaga thing? Like
she kind of outacted Anne Hathaway, I thought, because she had beef with, oh my goodness, I'm already forgetting the main...
Miranda Priestley,
thank you. My brain has already ejected that name. Don't remember anything about this film. I don't want to. But she had beef with her, and I thought Lady Gaga's acting was pretty damn funny.
Sure, and she has, I guess, been in numerous movies,
Oh, sure.
And even didn't she play a fashion person who's actually in this movie? Didn't she play a famous Italian fashion... The name's escaping me.
In this one?
No, like in another movie, a whole other movie.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
I can't remember what their name
Maybe she was in the Versace movie
there you go,
with Adam Driver.
That sounds right. So
I know a thing or two.
So yeah, but all of a sudden Lady Gaga's doing all this singing and dancing with a headset while the models are trying to go down the catwalk, and I found it actually very, very disruptive to a fashion show, because that's the model's little time to shine. They're doing their walk, and if you're kind of have someone in the middle pulling focus, I don't really understand. That whole thing was odd, right. And there wasn't really an audience watching it that I thought there was just a lot. We're just kind of be all over the place on this, but
well, let's get down to brass tacks of we watched the first one.
Okay, yes.
Some of the first one worked.
Squirrel had never seen it. I saw it in the theater, so I was like, Squirrel, we should see this. Sometimes we like to do our homework. We are also listening to the audiobook of Animal Farm right now.
Right.
We're going to get to that movie too, which looks like people hate it, so
oh boy.
Can't wait. But anyway, go ahead.
How do you mess up George Orwell? I don't know, but they've apparently done it.
1984, the musical was
but some
kind of a trash by critics.
Yeah, some things worked in the first one. Anne Hathaway was kind of, I'm above this job.
Sure.
And the people in the fashion industry were like, oh, really? Are you above this job? Here's what the fashion industry does for just your everyday, regular Joe Schmo clothing line.
Yes.
And that was a very famous speech in the first film, and it's right. It makes sense to be like, yeah, high fashion does do things for the fashion world, and these shows are very extravagant, a little bit 1%, I would say. It's always in Milan and Morocco and Paris, and they're you couldn't afford to go if you're just a regular working person making about $30,000 a year.
Right.
You'd be like, I'll never get to this.
Speaking of that speech, we were also listening to a whole interview about the first movie.
Yeah.
Didn't they say that speech, like they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth or something, and they were eventually like, yeah, we don't think she's gonna say every line of this, but she said every line. Like I think a lot of work was put into that speech, right? That Miranda Priestley did about cerulean and
the
everything.
writer, she was like, you're not going to use any of this, and I'm fully prepared for you to cut this down.
Yeah.
And Meryl Streep memorized it all, and they put it all in the film, and it was a very strong speech for high fashion. Even if a lot of regular people would see high fashion and go, this is ridiculous, I'd never wear this.
Right.
That's a microwave oven on my head. Who's wearing this? Why is this fashion? And you're like, well, maybe buttons from a microwave become buttons on a jacket. You never know.
Right.
High fashion.
Right. It works its way down.
It made sense that Anne Hathaway was just out of college in the first film. Just out of university.
Seems like it, yeah.
So didn't know much about anything, was a bit snooty about, I want to be a journalist, I don't want to work for Vogue/Runway.
Right.
And so all of that worked. And her character could get a bit, like, her empathy for some of these people in the film. You're like, why are you so upset over some backstabbing towards Meryl Streep's character in the first one? Like, she's awful to you, so why are you suddenly invested in, like, oh no, she's getting a divorce, spoilers, but all that stuff. I was like, I'm not sure why she is how she is in the film. But sure, go with it. She's very empathetic to their plight, even though you don't really have to worry about these super rich people. Anyway, get to the second film. I'm like, oh, Anne Hathaway is a award-winning journalist for, I can't even remember the name of the periodical paper, wherever it was.
Me neither.
But then it's like, oh, they've just tanked it. It's going out of business. You're all fired. Literally at the award show.
She's receiving an award and gets a notification that they've all been laid off.
They've all been fired, and it's like, journalism is important. And she gives a rant at the podium, which we don't get to see all of it.
Right.
Somebody shows her a YouTube clip later, like, look, you said important things. It's like, why wasn't that seen in the film?
Which I think that is part of the problem with this movie, is that there's a lot of stuff like that. There's like, just jumping ahead for a second, there are sequences where she's writing important articles or supposed to be writing interesting articles or something for Runway magazine, and all we see is like montage of her like with her laptop. And maybe a headline, but we don't really get the sense of like what the discourse really is. But
Nope.
please continue. So she does this rant about journalism, right?
And it's, I guess, people appreciated it and all that stuff. And then she has to find a job. And then we get this subplot of Runway's in trouble. They keep talking about it as if it's a magazine on shelving in bookstores, which doesn't really exist anymore. Kind of. Barnes & Noble maybe has a magazine section.
Well, I think Stanley Tucci's character admits that it's mostly...
Right. They kind of gloss over how sort of newspapers and magazines have gone away, really. It's not as big of a business, I think, anymore. So he even, points out that we've gone digital, and it needs to have clicks and stuff. But then the main boss, whoever he was, I can't even remember, Ivan or Ivan.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, the big boss that hangs over Meryl Streep is like, I'm going to have to do something. I'll fix this because we're not getting enough views and Runway's becoming a dinosaur. So he hires Anne Hathaway, so we think. Twist at the end. Stanley Tucci dropped the hint.
Okay, can I break in?
Sure.
And say that the reason they desperately need that, though, is because Runway just did an article saying how great some clothing line or company called, I believe it was called Speed Fashion. It was called Speed Fash. It wasn't even called Spash. I don't think it was called Speed Fashion. I think it was called Speed Fash. Like, because they weren't even finishing out the word fashion. That's how speedy it was.
Right.
And as it turns out, this company is not treating their employees well. Shocker!
Right.
Speed Fash is not a quality, like, nice working conditions type industry. Like, come on. Like, that was, to me, that was like, they wrote that in the script and then they're like, we'll come up with the name later.
Right.
And
What
we'll
can-
replace speed fashion with another word.
Like, what can we say that's almost like fast fashion?
Right, but I think
Speed fashion.
I think they meant it to be like sheen or something,
Which is fast fashion, right?
which is speed fashion, you know.
Yeah,
but
you're
instead of calling
you're
it
supposed to wear it
sheen,
and throw it in the bin. And
they maybe they worried about a lawsuit, so they didn't call
Maybe.
it, you know, spleen or something like that. But anyway, yeah. So she's supposed to help shift
right.
the perception of
So-
runway by doing all these, like taking the editorials department in like just a more energized direction.
To give you some idea,
Yes.
this movie is 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, like a Ferrari. We've covered like maybe the first 4 minutes of the film. It does not stop. It's breakneck. Like, oh, runway's in trouble. Oh, look at this company that we get clothes from is using awful labor techniques, and then it's like, we've got to get Anne Hathaway done. She's in. It's like, what? Why is it moving so fast? I think they just wanted to get all the old team together very quickly.
Very quickly.
And here's my first major problem with it.
Yes.
Anne Hathaway is excited, nervous, and it's like, really? You're now this experienced journalist from all you've written stories from all over the world. You're coming back to runway, and you act like I'm just out of university again. I'm meek in front of Meryl Streep, and I look annoyed when she gets snippy with me. And it's like, wouldn't you speak up now? You're a woman of the world. Wouldn't you be like, okay, enough of that. You don't get to talk to me like this. I'm here to save your bacon, really. And instead, she's just like tears up and goes have coffee with someone, and it's like, no. This character has not grown at all.
And like the weird thing for me was Miranda Priestley doesn't remember her.
Right. In 20 years, she's done so much. She's like, I don't remember this assistant.
And it's like,
And I don't remember the other one,
so
played by Emily Blunt.
it's just no, she did remember her.
Was she just feigning that then? Because she's like, because doesn't Stanley Tucci say she was one of the Emilys? And she's like, who now? What now? And I was like, oh, is she just being purposefully mean to be like, I don't even remember the Emilys plural?
Well, I think when you replace someone, you're called the new whatever.
Right.
So that would mean that Emily was like the iconic one.
Right.
And she goes to see her at Dior or whatever.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she does remember her. And she's actually like important now. She's an important
That's right. This is how long this film was. I forgot the whole she got her the job at Dior, right?
I followed this for the first chunk, and then we're gonna hit parts where maybe I didn't. I was physically there for the whole time, but
Physically, we were there. If we were paying attention to this 2 hours plus,
it just felt so aimless, like you're watching like a little paper boat like go down a river. Like it just felt like, and now there's a leaf, and I don't know. It like
a paper boat you remember fondly from 20 years ago. Like, I made a paper boat. Look, there's another one very similar to it.
It was like, okay, it annoyed me that she didn't remember Andy, and that so that just sets us up like, so we're not building on anything. We're not building on anything with Miranda Priestley. This is like, I am again stepping into this situation like deja vu. I'm here, and Miranda Priestley's being cold to me, and Tucci's calling me 6, and
as a callback.
And we're back, like, getting our like cafeteria food mocked. But the thing that's different is that Miranda Priestley now has an assistant of sorts next to her who's almost like her like HR control like buddy, and warns her constantly, which I did get a little chuckle out of that, which just like points out to her like what she can't say. Oh, you can't say that, you can't say that. But she's hanging up her own coat now. But other than that, she's kind of awful. She doesn't remember Andy. What, do you have dementia? She doesn't seem to have that much passion, because it turns out Stanley Tucci's writing all the speeches. So it's like, what has become of the character of Miranda Priestley? She's who's the devil anymore?
Right.
She's not, she's not that scary a boss. She's just kind of crabby, and also she is rather sycophantic in other situations, which I feel like we didn't see her be in the first one. She's a little like, you know, she kisses up to various people. You do see. So
right. But I fail to believe that somebody as smart as her, as feared as her, and it's so entrenched in fashion that she's like, I don't even know what the word body positivity is. Like, she stumbles on that. She's like, body negativity?
Right.
And the assistant's like, mm-mm. And she's like, positivity? But is it positive? And it's like, come on now. She's got to be a smart fashion industry icon, not this horrible person.
And we've got Emily Blunt talking about her eyebrows, talking about Anne Hathaway's eyebrows. Although later on in the movie, she talks about her own self being on the cover of the magazine and says, like, not everyone has to be the sample size. So she's both like shaming Anne Hathaway for her perfectly nice eyebrows, and yet like being accommodating to her own perfectly nice shape. It was confusing. It was confusing, but I kind of felt like Miranda, we didn't have any big speeches. We didn't have any big perspective. No. All we know is that she wants a promotion. And when Irving or whatever falls over, and I'm like, these tables, you could just like collapse and just take a whole table down with you. But anyway, that guy
he's supposed
collapses.
To make the big announcement, but he dies, and it's like, okay.
Suddenly, grumpy face BJ Novak is in charge of things, and we don't really know. Somebody a long time ago told me that like to be a model, the key to being a model is to be expressionless. Like that was like what they're doing. And I was like, oh, I never thought about it before, but that makes sense. Well, I felt like somebody told this to the whole cast. Like,
yeah.
This is a movie about fashion and being a model, so just don't have an expression on your face.
And justice for Stanley Tucci. Like, he is normally delightful. Mm-hmm. And in the first film, yeah, he was very catty, but he had a kind of a heart and looked out for Anne Hathaway's character. And so in this one, he just looks sad and exasperated. Like, what am I doing? I guess I'm in it for the money, folks.
And
you won't believe my paycheck. And here I am kind of dourly delivering my dialogue and looking kind of bored.
And he wrote the speech. And when he finally gets the chance to deliver the speech, he's like, what? No, I couldn't possibly. And then he's like reading from some scraps of paper in his hands. Like, come on, guy. This should have been his moment, you know? To show, I guess it's like one of these things, like you could, if somebody is like a powerful person in an industry and you're their like right-hand person or whatever,
right?
They might take forever to retire or move on or whatever for you to get any kind of real change in your life. So he's been this role for 20 years and it's like, hey, we've all been living our lives ever since this last one came out, you know, right. And it just like, but open up this little window and Miranda Priestley and Nigel are still doing their thing. And, you know, it just felt like they have been on pause this whole time or something, just ready. Anyway,
so if you're a fan of the first one, if you're a fan of the first film, you might get something out of this because it does rehash a lot of the same jokes and predicaments, and it's like, we've got to touch upon these same ideas, but just with different characters. Like Anne Hathaway gets a crappy office, and then suddenly an assistant pops up, and she's like, I'm going to be nicer to this assistant, but the assistant's kind of like not paranoid, but what do you call her? Like, I've got all these lists of achievements from Yale and all this stuff. And she's like, but you hate me, don't you? And Anne Hathaway's just trying to calm her down. And it's like, is she just not listening to her boss? Like, if Anne Hathaway's your boss and she's like, no, I want you to work for me. But she's just going, no, you hate me. Oh, you can get someone else. It's like, could you stop talking? What's going on? You're talking over the person you want to work for. Great way to make a first impression of, I'm terrible, fire me.
The best thing that happened, in my opinion, was when that character, who seemed very like Gen Z, has the idea, and we were like, wait, we thought she was going to record them when she's getting the froyo, or thought she was going to listen, and sure enough, she did do that. So I thought, like, she had a cool idea, and I think this movie just has so many characters. It had so many characters and so many kind of like not that exciting plot twist, but so many plot twists. But
Right.
if you didn't really care about the characters, so you didn't really care about the plot twists. So the whole thing just felt like, why are we watching this? Like, they didn't get us excited about, the movie didn't get me excited about fashion, for one thing.
No.
Like, nothing happened that made me think, like, fashion is exciting. Like, the first one, there would be, like, photo shoots and stuff.
And the characters would want to wear the outfits. Like,
Yeah.
And sometimes in this film, Anne Hathaway's like, oh, that's pretty. And then you get to see her wearing like a weird stained glass dress or something, whatever it was.
Right, Miranda Priestley's going around with like tassels.
A jacket with tassels on it.
just everywhere. And I'm like, are
What?
you kidding us? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What? Yeah, sure.
But it
also felt like commercial. They were really into, oh, let's pan slowly across a Mercedes because you're going to see the logo, and then they get in this very schwank expensive Mercedes, and that's how Miranda gets around. But you're going to see the logo on the seats. The camera's going to pan across it, and we're going to make sure, Mercedes paid us handsomely to plop
and
this
they're
car
drinking
in.
their Diet Cokes, and I feel
All
there's
the time,
something
Diet
else
Cokes.
that was like, was there something else we were laughing in the middle of it where there was like it felt like
The ridiculous get on the plane, but you're flying, and then it cuts, and you're like, no, there's no way Miranda Priestley would fly coach. And she walks like, that was quite funny by Meryl Streep. She's walking, like looking lovingly at business class, and then she's like, walks through the curtain. It's like, oh, why would BJ Novak do this to us? And it's obvious. He's like, he's plotting to get rid of you. So he's putting you in coach, and it's like, there's no way. I think Miranda would have enough money to be like, well, I'm flying privately because I can afford it. You guys go coach to Milan. Anyway.
I think there was just like, there were so many characters, again, I'm repeating myself, but like, there were so many characters, you didn't really care about them, so you didn't really care about what they wanted. You weren't really rooting for anyone. So you're just watching all these people be sort of not great to each other, and you're not that emotionally invested in it. And there's even like Justin Theroux and Lucy Liu, and he's maybe wearing some kind of like prosthetic thing.
Because they show him in like overweight makeup.
Right.
Like he was a billionaire. And I get the feeling that Justin Theroux has met some billionaires and is just doing an impression of someone that maybe they know, and they're like, oh, I better not say anything. That's me. But I thought he was such a goof when he's talking about money and stuff, and I'm like, he has met some rich people, I bet, and he's just pulling from his real life, like, oh, this is how they act. So, yeah, shout out to Justin Theroux. He kind of saved it for the comedy gold in his character. But that was about it.
Nothing was saving it for me. Like I was just kind of like, okay, so he, like, everybody, different people are trying to buy the magazine, or
or not,
or backstab each other, and I didn't really care. And then she apparently had a relationship going with
and it's always the way that someone's doing something they think is good, and then it turns out like, you fool, I wanted them to stab me in the back.
Right, and at the end, Stanley Tucci, like, I'm the one who said we wanted you here. Well, so why are you such a jerk that you didn't tell me this till the end of the movie? Because
thanks, Tucci.
You let me walk into a situation where everyone's like, I think we remember you, and this mean girl junk. That once you have 20 years of experience under your belt, this mean girl stuff is just, it just seems like played out and
totally
unprofessional. And unconstructive, like what you really need is to help your magazine if you think she's a good writer. And she even admits at one point, like, I always knew you were going to do something, before I forgot you again, or whatever. It's like, what? Like, if
go to hell, I quit. You try and save your own digital magazine yourself.
Just quit this job. Also, you're throwing in all these characters. It just seemed abusive of like, oh, let's bring Tracie Thoms back and just have her be the friend who's got an apartment with a little girl and do nothing with them. Let's bring on Colin from accounts to be your love interest, but
underuse him.
Don't kiss him till the very end or whatever. And he's just like, I don't know, just like a side person for you to ignore. They're abusing you. Who even care? We don't get to see people care about much of anything in this except ownership of the company or promotions, but not like what's important about fashion, what's important about sustainability, what's important about, connecting to an audience, it just felt like it was about money and power and
Can you tell it's not for us? I did not like it. Also, the convoluted, montage of Anne Hathaway's got a plan. You're not going to know it, because films do that. But I really thought it was going to be how do we save Runway? Mm-hmm. We can't have Justin Theroux buy it. He's a billionaire, and he's awful, and he's going to buy it all and turn it into something yucky. So we've got a plan. And it showed this montage of Anne Hathaway literally does not leave a hotel room. She's just in her pajamas going, "Well, wake him up." Cut to another angle of her going, "Well, wake them up. No, get them out of bed. Wake them up. They've got to hear that." I thought it was going to be a group of people saving the magazine. It was going to be models that get paid extortionate amounts. So it'd be all the models came together, pooled their money. Wow. Vogue run by models would be amazing and different. And instead it's she said, "Get them out of bed, wake them up," to 14 different people. And it turned out to be Lucy Liu, who is another billionaire who can save the magazine. That was the big reveal. I'm well, who was she getting out of bed? She got 10 people out of bed to get them on the phone and talk to them. And it's to get to Lucy Liu, you've already interviewed her. That was the big, holy grail, they called it. Get that interview with her. Mm-hmm. And they do. And it gets lots of clicks. And I thought, oh, this movie's got to be near the end then. So Anne Hathaway saved the day. Nope, there's a whole nother hour to go.
But eventually she saves the magazine, right? Because she buys it or something.
Something.
I don't know.
Who's this for?
I was thinking, have you ever been someone's assistant? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please do.
Have you ever been someone's assistant? It can be tough to be someone's assistant.
If they're awful. How long were you an assistant if they were terrible, like Miranda Priestley? 5 minutes and you'd be like, hell with this.
I feel like...
Life's too short.
I feel like, she's not an assistant in this one, but it kind of feels like she's put back in that position in a way and being told, you're going to fail and I will see you fail soon. This kind of awful stuff. And anyway, I was somebody's assistant for 3 years and what eventually this person became one of my closest friends in life. Right. Like over time, especially after being their assistant.
And I've heard the stories. You talk about her fondly. So it's
But there were also some really difficult times. And there was times you had to know, okay, I know I can't, you're out of the office for the next 2 days. And I can't make progress on things without running it by you. So I just have to kind of... shuffle things for 2 days and just try to stay busy in some really unproductive way because I can't make progress without you being here to approve it because it's that important to you. Your stamp is on everything, or I can't tell anybody what you're doing. So people are asking me where you are and I have to get good at being saying super vague things about where you are because I have to hold down, or I have to tell you not to forget your hair appointment, even maybe though that should not be one of my jobs, but I didn't mind because you want to get to the point where you if you respect this person, you want to get great at being their right-hand person. And I think
that's a big thing.
It's a big thing. And I think a story that could have been interesting in all of this is really building the relationship between Andy and Miranda. And
why does she respect her?
Miranda changing. Miranda learning from Andy would have been an interesting story. I just felt like they didn't tell stories that I could get emotionally involved in this movie. And it felt more like, we made you something that looks like The Devil Wears Prada, and we expect you to eat popcorn and watch it and enjoy it. We're showing it 12 times a day.
Yeah, so shut up. Sit down and enjoy it.
Doesn't it look like that thing that you liked? Which I didn't even really like the first one. So. Yeah. But in the end, she ends up congratulating Charlie, Caleb Hearon's character, for his promotion. Well, what was his story this whole time? He went from sitting at one desk to sitting at another desk.
Well, it's a promotion at Runway.
There was no story for him in there. And he's such an interesting guy. And it's and then she had her assistant who was really interesting. I think they just piled on so many characters. who have a natural talent to be interesting, gave them nothing to do. And then there was times it felt like a daytime soap opera to me. Mm-hmm. The whole part where like Emily Blunt was admitting that she didn't have the most altruistic motivations or whatever. That was getting like Days of Our Lives or something to me. I didn't watch soap operas, but something like that. So anyway, Dolores Prada 2. We went to it simply because we're going to movies and talking about them. And
we're team movies, and this one really pushed the wrong buttons for me.
We weren't expecting to like love it or anything. So, but I think I was hoping for a little bit more when I saw that like Amelia Dimoldenberg, who I think is amazing, and Caleb Hearon and all these people were in it. I was thinking, well, maybe they are gonna do something neat with it.
Nope.
And we don't think that they did. But I sometimes you do want to see something kind of glossy, and like I think probably they think people want to come to these movies is maybe people are looking for some reminder of how maybe it used to feel to go to the movies or something like that. And
which means they go with, well, you get more of the same, and it's like, no, we want smarter. Like, people change in 20 years, and this was like, you just remember the same jokes, so let's do them again.
It's
moneymaker.
It's like when we saw that romantic comedy with Julia Roberts and George Clooney.
Ticket to Paradise.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, maybe this is going to be great. And it's
Those two are great.
It was so terrible.
Yep.
And like, it's like they're
Stick
convincing
to the
you
Nespresso
this is
commercials.
something you used to like, but the writing's not there.
Right.
Sorry. The writing's not there. The acting could have been there. Don't know about the directing.
Good Lord.
But someone needed to notice they weren't making something too neat.
So we better strap in for the AI bot 4000 to write Devil Wears Prada 3 in 20 years. Oh no. The robots think fashion is this. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They would probably write something very similar to this, right? Because they're just taking
Probably.
what's already done and... Anyway,
it's time to strut and turn the dance floor into a runway, or whatever that song was that we heard 5 times during the film.
All right, so yeah, we should stop talking about this movie. But
Please.
We'll see another movie soon and talk about that. And, share your thoughts if you have any that you want to share with us. We're totally interested in what you think.
Did we miss the point? Is there something you have gleaned from this film that we cannot?
Was it amazing and we're foolish not to think so?
I don't know. But I highly doubt it. All right, bye.